Today we have two queens with us, and we're going to talk all about interview. We had Danette and Aryssa. So, Danette, can you introduce yourself and what system you're with right now or organization?
First, I want to say thank you, Natalie, for having me again on for a second time with Petite Professional. It is an honor every time to collaborate with you. And my name is Danette Mahavir Turner. I am the current Mrs. Universal Petite Jamaica 2026. And I've been with the Petite system since last year. Loved it so much that I'm representing my birth country, Jamaica, on the Universal stage in June of this year.
That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming back.
It's a pleasure.
And Aryssa, tell us about you.
Hi, I'm Aryssa Wright. I am the current Miss Wisconsin for American Royal Beauties. I have been with ARB. This is my first year. I started in the Miss America system and I did United States of America. So I've been all over in all different pageants. So I have a lot of experience with every sort of pageant interview.
Awesome. Good. This is awesome. Great. Well, I am so grateful to have both of you on here. Again, different systems, and you guys can have a wealth of knowledge to share. So I'm going to kick it off with my favorite topic, which is fashion. So my first question for y'all is, where do you like to shop? So I know, like, if someone's new to pageantry and you're looking for an interview piece, Danette, do you want to kick us off? Like, where do you like to shop for interview?
Absolutely. I am going to be very straightforward and frank and authentic on here. I love thrifting. I've been thrifting for years. I actually own a thrift boutique myself called Finders Keepers Thrift Boutique. And I remember getting prepared for Petite USA Nationals. And when you talk about my interview outfit, and I will be more than happy to share a photo of it. One of my favorite photos that I took after my interview at Nationals. I still use it as a nice headshot or submission photo for different things like magazines, etc. And my white pants, pencil foot pants, I found it at Goodwill. Like I love the texture, probably $5.99. Okay. I mean, you could not tell I got my
I,
white pants
I
that
could
I
not
wore for
tell.
my interview at Goodwill. Now, my interview shoes was the bomb. Had like florals on it. It was also white. So think of a pencil foot pants, right? Kind of
Mhm.
silky texture, and slightly spandex silky with pencil foot, pointed toe with nice floral defined design on the point of my nice heels, to go with that. And my top for my interview at Nationals at Petite USA was actually one of my friends, Terry Burry, and she was like, "This is so perfect for what you're about to do." And she brought it in a bag and everything. It's gold. I was like, "Man, what am I gonna put the bottom with that?" And so I thought to myself, that gold, to not take away from the gold top, and you don't want to make it too extra to where it's distracting to the judges or to yourself. I paired it with the white pants and white shoes, and it was very, very professional.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, I've seen the pictures and it was very, very nicely done. So, Arissa, where do you like to go for interview shopping?
If it's really last minute, I'm a big Amazon shopper. I am notorious for waiting till the week of to buy things. If I have a little bit more time, I will look at a thrift store or at like Autumn's Pageant Closet in Fond du Lac and just trying my best to not only save money but be conscious of the environment. And that's
Mhm.
what thrifting does. And one of my favorite ever interview outfits was $7 and it has pleather on the bottom. And everyone was like, that is the ugliest thing I've ever seen. And I fell in love with it. And then I tried it on at state, and my mom was like, okay, this was a good call. It's cute, it's different. So I've been trying to go a lot more thrifting, but because of who I am, I shop a lot on Amazon.
No, it's good. It's good to have. Yeah, no, it's awesome. I will say for me, I won't say what I'm wearing, but I have nationals in July, and I got my outfit on Poshmark. So like
Nice.
when you can save a penny, it's nice.
Hey, absolutely. I agree.
So for current trends, like we were chatting before I hit live, it is kind of early in the pageant season. Like we have USOA happening this week. I think their interviews are in like 2 days or something. But based on what you've seen in the last year or so, is there a particular interview look that stands out to you or an outfit type that you like? Aryssa, I'll have you start first.
I think that pantsuits are starting to become really popular again. Same with like straight down simple dresses. And my favorite interview outfit, like I said, from Goodwill, is a straight down simple dress with a pleather skirt and then like over fabric that's like soft spandexy material.
Mhm.
Fell in love with it and I loved how different it is. So I think that's also what really stands out to me is when people are willing to do something completely different and off the wall for their interview because it makes them stand out.
Yeah. And then like owning it, right? Like just wear
Hmm.
something that's true to you. No, I love that. Danette, what about you?
So I love a pantsuit with a nice blazer jacket that just tells when you walk in a room that you own the room. It speaks power, it speaks authority. And so I love that, nice pants, nice blazer jacket. Now I'm also going to share tips and techniques when it comes to that. Skin tone matching with or contrasting with colors, like your skin tones versus the colors that you choose. I absolutely know that there are certain colors that
Hmm.
looks better on my skin, that complements my skin better. So I probably wouldn't wear a dark purple blazer, I would probably
Yeah.
wear, you know what I'm saying? So you could think
Hmm.
white or you could think, but then depending on like for you, I think a red would just, look stunning on you. So knowing your colors and knowing the power of your colors, when you walk into a room, they know who you are before you open your mouth in an interview.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. Yes. I had Johanna on here talking about interview, and she went and got like a color analysis done. I'm like, that's awesome. Yeah, no, that's wonderful advice. Um, when you guys were talking about with different outfitting, with us being petite women, it's so important to have like if it's needed to have like tailoring done right because like I know for me like sometimes when I get a blazer it just looks kind of like frumpy on me. So like being able to get it altered and to have it fit well. um, well, thank you guys for your fashion expertise. Let's roll into style of interview. So, the two like main ones, round robin, right? And then you have panel style. So, let's start off with Danette. What is Universal Petite going to have? Are they going to do panel style? Do you know?
Yes, they are doing panel style. I love the fact because I think interview is my favorite
Yeah.
segment. I think. I mean, I love being on stage and showcasing your gown and your confidence and your stage appearance, and I love all of that. And it's a compilation of all of it. Why we do pageantry, but when pageantry involves interview, I think that is your opportunity or opportunity to basically get allow the judges to get to know us one on one, know you, who you are, what you stand for, your platform, and stuff like that. And so, interview is my favorite. I like any kind of interview because I like talking and I'm very confident about what I do, why I do what I do, and
Mhm.
sharing about my culture, sharing about my history and who I am today and what I stand for. You do that because you know who you are. And so in interviews, I like the panel style because, of course, all the judges, different perspective, a huge dynamic of maybe, men, women, different races and different pageant systems, different experience, different years of expertise coming together to form a very diverse judging panel in that interview room. And somebody could be looking at you and thinking, of a funny question like, what's one moment while you're in Jamaica, while somebody's looking at the serial entrepreneur side of your bio. And so having those diverse questions will bring out more so that when you walk out that room, they know more about you in that little time. What I love about Universal Petite is that we have more time in the interview.
It's
And
not 3 minutes.
yeah. So, when you and I know Petite USA, you get 3 minutes, you're like, man, that's like so speedy. Depending on my answers, if I answer a question too long, I will only get one question. But if I answer too short, I don't want to sound robotic. I don't want to, not answer the question and elaborate appropriately so that they know and learn who I am and what I stand
Mhm.
for. But I love the fact that we are getting 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay, that's wonderful. Yes.
Hey.
Yeah.
I am so, so excited for that. Yes.
No, that's amazing. And I really liked what you touched on about the diverse questions because one thing with there's a few things with round robin, but one is like you're only getting that judge's one perspective. And I think it's nice that the judges can hear all answers. So I think that's a good
Absolutely.
call
I
out.
agree with you.
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you. Okay, Aryssa, I know you started with MAO and you know those are 10-minute interviews.
10 minutes of
Wow.
straight standing in front of 5 to 7 judges. My favorite.
So, what is ARB? Like, what do you guys do?
So ARB is a panel judges, 4 minutes, and you're sitting. I am so excited. I I love panel interviews so much, but don't make me stand for the whole 10 minutes. That's the only flaw that I have with MAO is why am I standing for 10 minutes behind a podium? That's weird.
Yes, yeah. No, I agree. I just chatted with you. I just got done judging and it's like sometimes like the 10 minutes like it's a long time, right? Like but with MAO you do go beyond the bio, right? Like you talk about current events and with ARB, are you guys is it mostly off your bio sheet? Do you know? Okay.
Yeah, they can ask anything off your bio sheet, anything off of social media that you posted about, any of your appearances, because we actually have to submit all of our appearances to the
Okay.
national board before nationals. But they can ask basically anything under the sun except for political and current events, which I'm very excited about.
Yeah, no, for sure. I remember my first pageant was with MAO and they asked me about some like crisis going on in Ireland and I'm like I studied beforehand but I didn't prepare for that one. So
Wow.
um okay, so for you guys it sounds like we all kind of prefer panel. Is that fair to say?
Fair
Okay.
to say.
Have
Yes.
either one of you done round robin before?
I have. I did
I've
a round
not.
robin interview in November actually for United States of America's Miss Wisconsin.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I forgot they do that. How long? Do you remember how long each interview is,
I
roughly?
believe it's 3.5 minutes per
Okay.
judge. So it's like around 15 minutes total.
Yeah. At least you're sitting, right? And
Correct. We are sitting.
that's awesome. Okay, well, thank you guys for talking about style of interview. The last segment that I have for questions, and then we'll do the advice section, is I have two questions. So, is there an interview question that you really liked that you got, or one that stumped you? Either one. If you guys could just kind of share something about that. I don't remember who I started with last time. Aryssa, do you mind going first? Thank you.
So, one question that I always get is tell me one fun fact about yourself. And the most fun fact about myself is that I have 2 goats currently living in my parents' backyard. And I
Awesome.
love talking about that, and it always makes the judges laugh when I talk about that. I think a question that stumps a lot of people, including me, is the why you question because people tend to overthink it.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that, but you really have to go in knowing like why you're there. And I think that's where it stumps a lot of people. Are like, why not me?
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
got that in November with one of my judges at USOA Miss Wisconsin. And I was like, I walked out of the interview room and I was like, that was a wild question, but I
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good feedback. I've done interview prep and I've been asked that in a mock interview before. And it's tricky. It's a tricky one to answer. Um, Danette, what about you? Is there a question that you really liked getting asked or one that stumped you or?
Absolutely. I love being asked about my platform. I am a big domestic violence advocate and warrior, survivor. And so every opportunity that I get to share the things that I've gone through that molded me into the woman I am today and have given me a voice to not just advocate for myself, but domestic violence and survivors and current victims, and not just in a region, but globally, because domestic violence is a global crisis. So I get super, super passionate and excited when I'm asked about my platform and I can talk about the domestic violence annual awareness walks that I do, called Break the Silence and the Violence. Talk about my book, Leave a Life, subtitled Goodbye Domestic Violence, my talk show, Voice Thoughts talk show and podcast, and my TV program called Voices of Victory, specifically raising awareness on domestic violence. So I absolutely love when I'm asked, how do I use my crown and sash when I'm not on stage in communities to create impact and change, positive
Mhm.
change, and using my voice beyond the sash and crowns? I absolutely love that question. I don't think there is ever a bad question that a judge can ask me, whether it's a funny question or a fun fact, or, I was thrown a curveball in Petite USA's interview, which, they go off your bio to some degree. And I'm a serial entrepreneur, but you have to be prepared as well whenever and whatever you submit on your bio, that you are prepared to answer anything at all that you jot down, whether it's a descriptive word of who you are or what describes you, and be able
Mhm.
to elaborate on those things naturally and genuinely because you wrote those words, right? You wrote
Mhm.
that that's who you are and those words describe you. And so I put on there that I am a serial entrepreneur. I have different business ventures. And one of the judges could relate and said that he also was a serial entrepreneur. And if I were to choose just one, and you have to you have to think quick on your feet, and that's part of
Mhm.
what they're judging. And I'm a certified national life coach. I own a thrift store, as I mentioned. There's so many different things that I do. And so when you're asked that question and you have a split second to respond, you better do that confidently, articulating and knowing who you are and what would I didn't know I was going to get that question. Nobody,
Mhm.
you're going to get asked, who are you? What describes you? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about your platform. What's one word that describes you? These things we expect. If you win, what's the first thing you're going to do? We know those questions can be asked, right?
Mhm.
Why you, as Aryssa said, but I was not expecting to be asked that question,
Choose
but I
which
had to.
baby you love the most.
So, I mean, I did pick life coaching because I can incorporate everything that I do into life coaching. My experiences as a domestic violence survivor slash victim then, and now using that to rebuild confidence in women, or helping someone finding their passionate path and using their voice beyond what they've gone through and turning their pain to purpose and all of these beautiful things. So I told him that I would have chosen to be a national certified life coach.
Yeah, no, that's a good answer. That makes sense. And I like what you said, like, because even some of those curveball questions they ask that you're like, why would they ask me this? There's some there's something you can tell about a person's personality. Like today at work, for example, we all had to ask like what crayon color would we be and why. And it was just
Oh,
kind of fun to see like the different personalities just from like that silly question. So yeah, for sure. Okay. The last thing I want to ask you guys is some advice. Like what whether it's for nerves or just fashion or mindset. Aryssa, if you don't mind, we'll kick it off with you. What advice would you give someone that is going to be going into interview?
I think the biggest advice is just remember your judges are people too. They are equally as scared as you are most of the time. They don't want to freak you out. They're nervous that they're going to ask something that might touch a nerve.
Mhm.
And you have to remember that. You have to go in there remembering it's a conversation. They're there to get to know you and they want to truly see who you are. And there is no wrong answer as well. Everybody has their opinions on everything.
Mhm.
And the judges are not going to dock you points for having a different opinion. And I know that fact alone makes a lot of people nervous going into it. But you just have to be yourself, be genuine, be confident, and don't forget who you are. And don't change who you are because you think the judges will like you better different.
That's wonderful. Yes, thank you. Danette, what about you? What advice would you toss at us?
I will share two with you guys. First and foremost, be authentic. The judges can see right through robotic, rehearsed. Be authentic, be genuine, as Aryssa said. And so they want to learn about you and not a one size fit all. You are not a one size fit all. You are uniquely you, and you bring something special to any system, any room you walk into, any table you sit at. And that's what they want to see is the true you, the genuine you, and the authentic you. And of course, I would say always, 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 just like any job interview or any encounter with any person at all, is eye contact. Your judges are looking at you. If there's four of them, if there's five of them, if there's 10 of them, look at them, talk to them, eye contact. And that helps you to kind of see that, okay, they might be giving you a nod, like they like something you said, or, sometimes they're just staring at you and there's nothing you could read from that. You're like, okay, what is that person thinking? However, like your brain is doing all kinds of things inside, all the little men in there running up and down, go, ah, but when you're eye contacting, that exerts confidence. That exerts that you know who you are, as you mentioned. You walk in that room and you own that room, and that's your moment to shine. And that's your moment for those judges to get to know you and why you want to be, the next queen, the next
Mhm.
title holder or the winner.
I love that. You guys, this is so good. There's so much good information here. Thank you so much. Whew. Okay, well, I appreciate both of your time. I thank you for all the insight. Um, I will make sure to tag you guys. Is there anything else that you'd want to share? I don't want to miss anything. If there's anything else you guys wanted to add.
Go
Good.
forth and shine in interviews. Just own it. Just own it.
Yes, yes. Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you so much for being guests on Petite Professionals. And I look forward to watching you guys, whether it's on like I know Petite USA or sorry, Universal Petite. I know they normally stream it on socials, so I'll be able to watch. Or is that where ARB, do they stream it or do you know? Okay, well let me know and I will watch you if if it's streaming. Cool. Okay, thank you so much, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.